Well, Jim, wrestling fans always have to choose what they will or won't watch, and we have the ratings for this past week's AEW Collision, which of course was a notable episode, which began with Tony Khan's announcement of firing CM Punk.
Well, and again, we have said that the Saturday night show was going to have issues, and this happened to be the next Saturday night after the last one was what? SummerSlam. This was Payback. So Collision was
It
up
certainly
against...
was.
Yeah, it certainly was. It was Payback, and Payback is hell, Daddy. But this was against not only the Payback premium live event, but also some football. I don't know who's playing. I'm not into the football. But last time that happened, I believe they did, instead of 600,000 or 700,000 people, they did 400,000 people, or 400 and something thousand.
But they held them.
But they held them. And that's what we talked about. We've not only been mentioning that Collision is the show that not only holds, but in a few cases has increased the viewers from beginning to end. May not be static all the way through, but there'd be more, as many or more at the end as there was at the beginning, which never happens on Wednesday nights because of what's on the program. And we also said that it will be interesting to see how quickly, now that the people know they're not going to get Punk and that the style of the program is going to change from what we've been at least led to believe it was going to be, that Saturday night would be the wrestling show for the wrestling fans and Wednesday night would be the gymnastics for the fucking kids. And that's out the window. So how long is it going to take for Collision to turn into Rampage? I think we got an answer already.
Well, this past week's AEW Collision, September 2nd, again against WWE Payback on TNT, was watched on average by 345,000 viewers.
Now, if that don't sound bad enough, tell us, Brian, where they started in quarter one when the first thing they saw was the announcement where Tony Khan said, "I was scared for my life and I fired CM Punk."
And as we're doing this, ladies and gentlemen, think of all the various movies that TNT could put in this time slot to get numbers better than this. The show opened, these were compiled by WrestleNomics. The show opened 8 to 8:15 p.m. quarter one. Tony Khan firing CM Punk video, followed by Ricky Starks' confrontation with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, and the return of Bryan Danielson. 472,000 viewers, as well as, and this is important for this week, 234,000 in the key demo.
And that 472,000 is about, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, pretty much what the average was the last when they were against SummerSlam. They did 400 and something thousand over the course of the program.
Yeah, it was somewhere in the mid-fours maybe, but again, all throughout the show. For here, September 2nd, quarter two, 8:15 to 8:30 p.m., the Jon Moxley backstage promo, followed by Billy Gunn and The Acclaimed versus Daniel Garcia and 2.0 with picture-in-picture, 383,000 viewers.
So, 79,000 people said, no, wait, 72, 82, 89,000 people. 89,000 people, as soon as they heard no Punk, said no Moss. Right at the top of the program. Is somebody delusional enough to think that that was not the causation and the effect of that announcement?
Before we go too much further, do you think, if nothing changed, if Punk was going to get fired no matter what, is there a different way Tony could have handled the beginning of this show maybe to not turn people off right away, if that is one of the things?
I think the only thing we talked about this on the clips on YouTube, we put it out on the podcast feed. If he hadn't said, I was scared for my life, that was so over the top and so ridiculous. I think a lot of people collectively blew snot at the same time. And it was so unbelievable. And only a person who really wants to believe anything Tony Khan says would believe that. And it sounded so absurd that, and And as people have mentioned, he was so scared for his life that after the guy went out and worked his match and did as he was supposed to do and came back and posed for pictures and then took a shower and then got dressed and then asked if he should leave, and they said, yeah, probably go ahead. He was still shaking. So I think that's the thing. If Tony had somebody to do his announcements for him instead of that face and those bug eyes and that wimpy voice and the fact that he has to read everything off a teleprompter before he goes on tangents, if there was somebody that the fans could look up to, not because he's their friendly wrestling promoter that employs all their favorites, but because they respect that person in the wrestling business. And if that person said, for unprofessional conduct in getting in an unprovoked fight or whatever the fuck, maybe. But Tony out there with that look, and I was scared. I've been going to wrestling I've never been scared for my life.
But I guess that's my point. If he had come out there and just said, fans, I have a big announcement. I'm very sorry to say, but we have not been able to work with CM Punk and we had to let him go. However, we have an amazing episode tonight, and we hope you give it a shot. We have some big matches, some great wrestlers. Here's Collision. Something upbeat and just into it. Do you think the tone set the tone?
Still a lot of people would have tuned out by the end of this program because it was the shits, but maybe they would have given him an extra 15 minutes. I don't know.
Well, speaking of an extra 15 minutes, quarter 3, 8:30 to 8:45 p.m., the Dark Order backstage promo, Ricky Starks' backstage promo, and the beginning of Commander and Nick Wayne versus Aussie Open.
Boy.
327,000 viewers.
And that's a gift that they only lost 56,000 more on that was a fucking gift. So now we're down 145,000 people from the start.
Quarter 4, 8:45 to 9 p.m., the finish of the aforementioned tag team match. Nick Wayne and Darby Allin and Christian Cage's live promo, Claudio Castagnoli and Eddie Kingston backstage promos, an ad break, followed by Ruby Soho's backstage promo.
How about a test pattern? They throw one of those in too?
358,000 viewers.
And that's a gift that they gained some. They got 31,000 back. And I don't know why.
Well, that brings us to the big 9 o'clock hour. Everyone wants to know what's going to happen then. 9 to 9:15 p.m., quarter 5. Dennis Rodman, Jeff Jarrett, Sanjay Dutt, Jay Lethal, Billy Gunn, Karen Jarrett, and the Acclaim's live promo and confrontation and angle. The Shane Taylor Samoa Joe backstage package, or promo and backstage package. Backstage promo and package.
Or backstage baggage.
Also, Britt Baker and Hikaru Shida and Chris Statlander versus the Outcasts. 391,000 viewers.
Okay, that... One would have to think at the top of the 9 o'clock hour, the people who hadn't heard, they're tuning in thinking they're going to see the rest of their normal wrestling program. Why would that gain another 33,000?
Maybe you gave it a minute to see what was going to happen with Dennis Rodman. Again.
And Dennis Rodman, I guess.
And Dennis Rodman. And then you see what he did and who he did it with.
The people in Chicago weren't even really happy about Dennis Rodman. And he's their boy there, right? He was on their team.
That's right. The world champion Chicago Bulls, but let's see what the viewers at home thought of him. Quarter 6, 9:15 to 9:30 p.m., the continuation of Baker, Shida, and Statlander versus the Outcasts with picture-in-picture, Adam Cole's backstage promo, an ad break, Statlander, Saraya, and Soho backstage angle, and Powerhouse Hobbs versus GPA.
Jesus.
With the post-match with Miro. 314,000 viewers.
Ouch. Okay. Apparently, in that single swell foop, they lost what they had gained the 2 previous quarters and then some. This is the lowest point of the show. We're now down 158,000 people from the start. So apparently Rodman made an impression.
Quarter 7, 9:30 to 9:45 p.m., an ad break, an Orange Cassidy backstage promo, and the beginning of Dax Harwood versus Jay White with picture-in-picture, 276,000 viewers.
Oh, good Lord. And, hey, that's a shame because poor old Dax and Jay, they had a good match, but not only do people see pockets pop up on the screen, but then they realize there's one match left and Punk's gone and yeah.
And you've been trained to know what it means if Dax has a singles match. He's going to lose.
He's going to lose.
And finally, and I'm not even going to give you the 2-minute overrun, and I'd like to know if this gets counted into the average actually. But quarter 8 with a 2-minute overrun, 9:45 to 10 p.m. Continuation of Dax Harwood versus Jay White with picture-in-picture. 244,000 viewers with 101,000 in the key demo, which I think is the lowest key demo number I have seen. Haven't gone through all the Rampage data for a couple of years, but I don't know if I've ever seen an AEW show with that low a number.
I'm trying to do this math. Hold on. 220. They lost somewhere around 45% of the audience from start to finish. That's a new record. And they lost more than 50%. I'm going to say they lost from 234,000 to 101,000. That's a loss of 50 something, high 50s% of the key demo. Wow. Well, there you go. The people that wanted to see Punk and wanted to see wrestling started watching on Saturday nights. They were starting with a handicap, being the off night and against whatever, but they would do a couple 100,000 fewer viewers, but they would keep them all from start to finish for the most part. And on Wednesdays, AEW Dynamite would start big and then they'd eventually drop off to almost meet Collision and lose 20 or 25%, but no program has ever lost 50% of its viewers. And you can tell that the audience that they had built, whatever it was, for the past couple of months on Saturday night said, well, fuck this whole goddamn thing.
You got to wonder how much longer Saturday night will continue. Again, this was a week where you're against a WWE pay-per-view. There's other competition on TV. The gas station's open, I know. But people wanted to hear what was going to be said about Punk.
We established the first time the WWE pay-per-view hurts. Football, fuck it. If they'd rather watch football, then you need to do a better show for the most part. But a WWE pay-per-view, that's understandable and entirely believable that it would take away a predominant part of your audience. But the ones that were left that weren't watching, did they just say, fuck it? I don't want to watch SummerSlam, but I'd rather go to bed than watch this? That's the problem.
Well, that was the problem.
What did Rampage do Friday night?
Hold on. I'll tell you right now. Give me a second.
Did Rampage beat Collision?
What day was Friday? That was
Friday.
No,
what day before Saturday.
What day of the week was Friday?
What day of the week was Friday? It was Friday.
All right.
I'm answering the question.
Okay, you're answering the question. Rampage on Friday, TNT, 10 p.m., September 1st. That's what I was looking for. 372,000 viewers.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, actually, yeah, 372. Here are the quarter breakdowns. 418, 359, 365, 346, starting at 159 in the key demo, ending at 136.
Okay, so they lost 50, 54, 64, 70. They lost about 20% of their audience, like most of the AEW shows do, but they didn't lose 50%. And they had, hold on Collision, there were 4 quarters on Collision that were lower than anything on Rampage. Let that sink in. I'm telling you, we're in the future now from where we were just moments ago, as far as you know. And as a result, we've got future knowledge. And as a result, we're going to be talking about more stupid things going on that have, it doesn't go a day. Brian, I wish there was some way that we could just bet on stupid. You know, like you go to Las Vegas, you bet it all on black. If there was a way we could bet it all on stupid, just some way or another. I'm not talking about a score. I'm not talking about a game specifically. I'm just talking about bet on stupid. Something stupid is going to happen tomorrow, and you'd be a winner every time. You could retire. Do you think that our friends at DraftKings take bets on stupid?
Well, that may be a bit too vague and large. They may lose all their DraftKings money if they did something like that, but there are plenty of stupid people and stupid things you could bet on.
Well, so you're saying it's overly broad just to put your money on stupid, but you could always bet on stupid people. Like we could bet that the collision ratings are going to plummet like a certain stock that we know about now in the future. Or we could bet that maybe Tony Khan, the man who's never fired anybody, is now going to turn into Ole Anderson and fire half of his roster. We could bet on that. But you said they might lose all the DraftKings money. Do you mean that there are actual kings ponying up the money, the financing, the cash, the bread to finance this whole DraftKings sportsbook operation that's going on here that's an official sports betting partner of the NFL? So you know they're legitimate. You mean do the actual DraftKings, what are they the kings of?
The draft.
Are they the kings of particularly a country or a people? The draft.
Yeah, the sports draft, not the draft that has been
not
gone.
The military draft.
That's right.
You know, you're not going to be sent over there to the DraftKings. That's not what's going. They're not going to pluck you at random out of your civilian life and put you into the servitude of the armed forces over at DraftKings. That's what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. I think. I'm confused.
Can we bet that one of these NFL teams, maybe the Jacksonville Jaguars, will do something stupid? Do they take bets on stupid on the football teams, or do they just the winning and losing and all that type of thing?
It would be interesting if you could bet on stupid versus old stupid. Like if you were able to say, I think the Jacksonville Jaguars will do something stupid, but it won't be nearly as stupid as the things they did last season.
Well, no, actually, I'm kind of thinking that it's going in the other direction there, Brian, because it seems like that the stupider people are doing stupider things now than back in the used to days. Back in the remember that? Back in the member days. I think that stupid
remember. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You know, I think that stupid is expanding, and I think that the capacity for stupid is increasing. So I think that the level, basically they've raised the bar on stupid now. What was thought of as stupid 10 or 15, 20 years ago may almost have graduated into smart just because stupid has gone so much further.
Well, whether someone is smart or stupid, they can try to win some money with DraftKings.
That's what we were going to talk about, wasn't it? Well, let me ask you this.
Please.
You can do math in your head better than I can, but I'm just trying to eyeball this thing. Right now, new customers at DraftKings can get $200 in bonus bets instantly when they bet just $5 on any NFL game. $200 in bonus bets instantly if you bet $5. Now, that means that's 40 times that amount of money that you're betting that you're getting from these fine kings of draft. So does that mean, like, if you bet $500,000, they'd give you $4 billion?
If you bet what are you betting on exactly?
An NFL game.
What are you saying? You're just betting on the winner?
Well, no, I'm trying to get their $200 that they're going to give me some kind of way here. We get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Just, that's like that. When you bet just $5 on any NFL game at DraftKings, if you're a new customer. And for the people who do that kind of thing, it's the kind of thing those people do where they place all these bets. I'm just wondering if you increase that, can we extrapolate? Instead of betting $5, if I was to bet $500,000, and when would they give me 40 times the amount of money, like the 200 and the 5, so I'd get $40 million? See, this is a mathematical problem.
It is, but you don't have to worry
You're
about
not
those kind of
solving it.
problems. I'm not solving. Listen, if you want to bet on the game or the player or the moves or the things that they do on the field, we know a place you can go. And if you're a new user, you get a great deal.
Where
What's better than that?
everybody knows your name.
Well, some people may know your name.
Well,
Or
we encourage, instead of going out to the casino or going to your local bookie in some back alley somewhere, and hey, if you don't pay these people in the back alleys, they'll break your legs. The Draftkings doesn't resort to stuff like that. They just take naked pictures of your wife and sell them on the internet if you don't pay up.
That's not involved in any of this.
They're not going to break any bones or anything.
They're not going to take pictures of your wife.
Anyway, so right now, and here's the thing, that's just for new customers, all the stuff we just said. Go back and listen to it again. But everybody can get hooked up with game day greatness because all customers can take advantage of 2 new offers every single game day this September. If they're playing a game on that day in September, well, that would make it a game day, and there's 2 new offers. But you got to check the app to see what the hell those things are, because they're going to change all the time without notice. You need to jump in on these things. Have
you ever opened an app?
I don't know how to find one, and I don't know if I need it. Do I need a key
on your
to
phone,
open the app, or
on
I need
on the smartphone?
No, I don't have a fucking smartphone. You know that.
But Stacy's never said, "Honey, I'm in the next room. Can you please click something on the phone? I need to see something."
No, I refuse to touch her phone.
Why?
Because there's all kinds of fucking hidden buttons and controls where you could call people, or you could mute it, or the screen pops up different shit. I don't want to touch that thing.
You won't even touch it.
I could somehow send something incriminating to somebody.
When Hotchkiss uses the official bat phone, he doesn't turn it around and show you what he's pressing or anything that he's doing?
No, I'd fire him if he tried to do that. I don't want to look at that shit. I'm not going to be doing it. I ain't got time for this shit. But I'll tell you what, if you know about the apps, then what you do is you go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app and open it or unlock it or goddamn pry it open. I don't care what you got to do. Take a fucking hatchet to it. But get into it and sign up using the code JCE. And once you do that, then once again, new customers, $200 in bonus bets when you bet $5. And all customers get new offers of some description that you have to open this app to figure out. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Just use the code JCE, for heaven's sake. JCE. Did I mention that enough? JCE, that's the code. All right, and apparently some people, they have a problem with gambling. Now, this is not something you want to do every day, from what I understand. Yet, gambling is not a thing that you can do it every day and practice until you get good at it. It's kind of a game of chance, I believe they call it. So just in case of that, we have some information here. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER, and they'll find you a gambler. Or visit www.1800gambler.net.
Yes.
Is that a website or a phone number?
That's a phone.
In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY. There's hope for you in NY. Or text HOPE-NY, which is 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling if you call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. CCPG, what the fuck does that stand for? Please play responsibly in everything you do, and honestly and legally, especially basketball. Don't cheat at basketball. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, we invite you, I guess. I'm not sure what their behalf is. 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction, but as everyone knows, everything is void in Ontario. A black hole with gravity that sucks in. ccdkng.co/football. I do not understand those words. For eligibility, terms, and responsible gaming resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days at issuance. So, goddamn it, you better cash them in or you're going to lose them. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply in many cases. Good day.
Well, good day. And that was Draftkings. Check them out. They support us, so they deserve you supporting them.
And we'll all support each other because, after all, what's an athlete without his supporters?